Got a Copilot, watch it take flight. Got it through the cold day and night. Crafting dreams from bits and bytes. Microsoft magic, it's out of sight. Got a Copilot, watch it take flight. Guiding through the cold day and night. Crafting dreams from bits and bytes. Microsoft magic, it's out of sight.
All right. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome, everybody, to another Cap for Copilot, Copilot Adoption Practices. You're joining from either LinkedIn or YouTube. And so we welcome you, whether live or on demand. If you are live, you can use the chat or comments for either platform to talk to us, tell us hello, tell us where you're from, or drop any question you might have for the day. Good to see you, Stacy.
Likewise.
Well, it's another happy Thursday here. Today, actually, if I pull this guy up, the topic of the day, finding all the co-pilots. So just
I love the homage to Waldo there.
yeah.
Very clever.
Lately, I've been putting little things in, pop culture or whatever, trying to see if anybody recognizes it. So nope, nobody seemed to get last week's, but I'm gonna just leave it out there until somebody does. But yeah, this question of so many co-pilots, especially given the last couple months with some of the changes we've made, I thought it would be a worthy kind of thing to talk through. And just show, and I bet I'll miss some as we do this, but figure you just go through and kind of see all the different places one might find Copilot amongst your world. And that will be different depending on what kind of world you're in, as we'll see in a sec. That's not where I want to start either. I was actually going to start very specific and then get broad. At first I thought about the reverse, but I'll get the very specific ones out of the way first and then start getting into where most of us probably interact with Copilot. So if I was to be super specific, and Stacey, I don't know if you'd agree, but it kind of depends on how you use the word Copilot. But when we talk about like a custom agent, that's pretty much now your organization might have Copilots all over the place.
That's right. Right. I think your focus is going to be on where they are in M365 and across the apps there, but you are absolutely right. They could be deployed almost anywhere from the user UI that your organization may be leaning into with Copilot.
Yeah.
Very good point.
So yeah, you may have, custom ones. We internally have custom ones based on different lines of business and things. And if you did, they would likely show up over on the side here. You see agents. Technically, they could show up anywhere if they're kind of building it out with Azure AI and things. They could be on a website or anywhere. But if we just kept it simple, the Copilot or the agents that your organization might build for you might be over here on the side for you. They might be, if you saw me click get agents, they might be somewhere in this marketplace as well. And in fact, this is another way that, if we kind of call these third-party co-pilots or agents, then you got a bunch here too. So that's getting real specific as we think about, not your standard, Microsoft Copilot with that, that we've come to know. There's agents and copilots all over the place. So that I figured I'd at least start there. I'm not going to talk about building that out, although it's not that hard. But you could have some agents and copilots out there in your world. The other kind of more specific one, if you may hear someone say Copilot, let's say like Copilot in Outlook. And then, but there's also Copilot for something like Copilot for sales. And I don't have a way to really show that, but you may have heard of Copilot for sales or Copilot for finance. So these are really customized, integrated Copilots right within a tool like Dynamics, that are extremely specialized to that workflow. So much so that they are, they've just got a whole separate story, a whole separate way of working with them. So again, I don't have a way to really show all of that, but that may be another Copilot that you might work in, especially if you are maybe a seller, maybe you are in finance. You may be using one of those Copilots. And you'll certainly know that you are, but they'll be very integrated into the tools that you use throughout your whole day. So Copilot for something would be another place where you might see some things. And then the last place before we kind of get into more general Copilots that you were expected me to talk about would be, I would say, some of the other niche areas. Like, for instance, if you are an administrator of an Azure tenant, and I think I have an example here. There's a Copilot in Azure, and this is not the Copilot to go summarize your emails, right? It's a very specific to things that you're doing in Azure. So so there's a Copilot there, right? I think another example is GitHub Copilot, which I don't have a thing ready to show for that. But if you are a developer, you've got a Copilot very specific to your developer needs. I hear great things about that one. People rave about that. But it is, a GitHub Copilot, or basically helps you with coding and all those developer scenarios. So again, your average person doesn't see the Copilots we've described so far because they're more niche, specialized to certain job functions, things like that. They are, however, still Copilots. And in fact, other than the custom ones we started out with, they're all, Microsoft kind of branded Copilot. Your custom agents might have their own branding. Okay. So those exist all over the place, right? I don't know if you can think of any other very specialized ones. I think I might have got them all, covered them all.
Yeah, I think you did. I mean, you in the Dynamic suite, you mentioned Copilot for sales.
Yeah.
I thought of a couple of the other ones like Copilot for finance, but
Right.
other than that, I think you nailed all
Yep.
the varieties.
Yeah. So, So once we get past those very specialized ones, then we start to get into more of the classic, where do I find Copilot, right? And that's throughout all of M365 apps. And again, it's going from more unique to more general. I won't start with your kind of basic popular apps. I will start, for instance, you might not have known about Copilot in Stream. So if you do those meeting recordings that you have, you can certainly do a lot with them in Teams and whatnot. Every now and then, you may click, open this in Stream, and you've got a ton of video related stuff here. And, we don't have time to get into all that, but hopefully you did notice that you have the Copilot button there. If you are licensed for M365 Copilot, you've got the button there. So you could get a recap with intelligent recap over in Teams. You could get it by asking Copilot, to recap that meeting wherever you may be. But you can also come here to Stream as well to do that. This is also useful to me, a meeting that wasn't necessarily recorded in Teams, but I do have a recording of it. Maybe it's a Zoom call that I have a recording of. I can upload that here and then get a transcript created, and then start getting a recap and start asking Copilot questions about that meeting. You would think that that's only for Teams meetings, but it's really for any recording that has a transcript at that point. So yeah, we can manage transcripts here that are part of the that once they get created. If I didn't have this one already here, there'd be a generate transcript button. Once it's generated, now Copilot can really get going, and you can start asking questions there. So you can see some of the even built-in questions that it's ready to answer about that. So Copilot in Stream is a good one. There is a Copilot in Loop, and if it's not there, I think it's coming. I might be getting ahead of myself on demoing that one, but I believe that that's there or coming, so I'll leave that alone for now. And then Whiteboard, I don't know if I'm ready, if I've got, let's see, I think that's installed here. Yep, Whiteboard. I didn't prep this ahead of time, so I might not have this fully installed or whatever, but there should be a Whiteboard Copilot as well. And I might not have everything set up for that. Yeah, this is from a few sessions ago. There it is. Yeah. So Copilot in Whiteboard as well. Okay, so that that one you might have missed, because those Copilot buttons usually are at the top, and this one's down at the bottom. So and maybe let me make that a little bigger. I know the screen's a little small there, but there's your Copilot in Whiteboard. And if you're wondering what this mess is, again, if you joined us 3-4 sessions ago, I tried diligently to explain some things and did a live whiteboard, and so it looks messy now, but it was good stuff when I started. So all right. Before I get into the popular ones, any other ones you can think of, Stacy, that I'm missing? Because I think I'm sure I'm missing. Is it a Power Platform? Is probably another one that I'm not really prepared to. I don't have that set up to show. I'd have to find the right URL for that.
And I'm not sure its release time frame. And I know you mentioned it in Azure, but also in the Microsoft Admin Center as well.
Yes, Security Copilot. Yep, you're right. You're right. Yep. I don't know if I can show that real portal. No, I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to. Well, let me see. Nope, I can't find that fast enough. So you're right. Yes, there's a Security Copilot for security professionals. So that's going back to that more specialized thing. For managing all of the tools and the data and everything that they've got going on in that security space. So you're right. That's a good one. That should have been one I got ready to show as well. That's a good one. All right. So yeah, drilling down. Let's at least go to the ones, the basics we know, right? We know Copilot in PowerPoint. Little button there, and the key here being that Copilot. That's one of the ones that's super special because it's can build the whole PowerPoint for you. Some of these other ones are basically like asking questions of the thing I'm looking at in that app, but PowerPoint's Copilot building out a whole PowerPoint for you is kind of a special superpower there. So I'm seeing a couple questions about, are there any links you can provide? And I'm assuming that's links to Oh, okay. Links that document what we're showing. Nice to have a demo, but better to have some resources. Yeah. What I do wish I could find, or I'll try to find, is a good link to that kind of talks about all this. I've seen people put together visuals of the whole ecosystem and where Copilot sits across the board. And so, yes, I'll try to see about finding some URLs. Maybe we can kind of show that on the next one, or I'll start adding them to these to LinkedIn and YouTube for you. So yeah, good question there. So we talked about PowerPoint. If I fire up Word here, we know that there's a Copilot there. Again, the other thing to call out is that some of these Copilots are not just up in the ribbon. I mean, they're most of the time up in the ribbon, but many times, and let me close this guy, fire up another one. They'll be within the document itself. So for instance, here in Word, you fire up a blank document, you've got Copilot up in the ribbon, but you've also got here Copilot kind of at the top of the page, ready to help you describe what you want to write. I mean, it's ready to kind of start to draft something out for you, giving you some suggestions here of things to do. So we're starting to see that more and more, that yes, we got our button that will bring up the sidebar, but we're also having things within, within the document area itself. Same with PowerPoint. If I were to, I'm trying to find a good thing here. Let's see, go here. You can see the little PowerPoint button there, ready to help as well. So they get integrated all over the place. So PowerPoint, Word, Excel is here as well. I do have installed in this demo environment, it's in preview, but Copilot for Finance that we talked about earlier. You can see that little button is there as well. And then our standard Copilot is there. That's going to bring up the sidebar, but of course, be able to look at the data that I would be clicked in on, inside the spreadsheet. And then our other popular one would be Copilot for Outlook. Bring that up. We got our Copilot button there. But again, just like I showed in Word, if I, for instance, opened up a new email and it just went away. Let me do that again so you can see it. Copilot is ready within the email. Make this bigger. To help me with my draft and things like that. So we're no longer depending just on the button up in the ribbon to bring up the sidebar. We're getting those experiences right within the email in this case. Same with that. I mean, that's a new email, but if I were to bring up an existing email, yes, I get a Copilot button, but I also have a built-in ready to go summary button. We understand often you're going to want to summarize emails. Why don't we just put that button right there for easy access and summarize the email that you're looking at the moment? So we got those. So yes, your Outlook, Excel, PowerPoint, and Word, probably the most popular apps and Copilots that would be integrated into M365 Copilot. I likely have missed some. Well, yeah, actually, I'm going to open up OneDrive here.
Read my mind.
Yeah. And so it's there as well. And also little cool things to do here with it, like clicking on two documents like I'm doing here, and then, clicking on two documents, coming up here to my Copilot right there. So again, not just up in the corner, but here. And I can summarize, I can compare these files, I can ask questions of the documents in this OneDrive. So just to, wherever it may be, we're trying to add new specializations for that. So you got a little Copilot in OneDrive as well. I'm a little bummed that, you know, we got away from the colorful icons. A lot of the icons are now just kind of black and white. We used to have all these fancy colors before, but I guess there's only so many colors, and we got more Copilots and colors probably at this point. So, but yeah, remember that you got your Copilot there in OneDrive as well. What am I missing before I get to more of our generic Copilots? I think that, OneNote is another one. In fact, I'm a big OneNote fanatic, so I should have definitely remembered that. So we got our Copilot there that can help you with the page that you're on, things like that. And I believe that, yeah, I was going to say, I click into the page. There's a Copilot, you know, right within the page itself. So we got that consistency there as well. All right. And I think I may have got most of them at that point. So even if I missed some, we definitely want to talk about your main Copilots, right? So down here in the taskbar, let's forget that. My taskbar, actually, it's a little hard to see, but you've got the M365 Copilot button there. So this will look different depending on if you have the license for M365 Copilot. You'll see it like this with the Work and Web tab. If you don't, you'll see it without the Work and Web tab, which means you're web grounded only, but you still have AI chat there. So on your Windows and maybe Mac, desktops or PCs, look for that icon. And in fact, what you might ask, where do I get that? In the store, I believe it should be there. It's kind of a couple ways to do it, but let me just make sure. I believe, yep. So going into the store and installing it there will show you two of them, actually. You got the one I just mentioned, which is M365 Copilot, which apparently I need to update, with the little black bar on it. So that's for those of us with work credentials, work email addresses, our job or our business account of M365 gives us an email address. We put that in there. That's important because that gives us enterprise data protection when we use Microsoft Copilot. So the black bar, that's a work-related Copilot versus this Copilot looks very similar, but no M365 black bar. That's more your consumer Copilot. If I go ahead and open that, I'm glad it stopped here because this is relatively new. So you'll see this looks a lot different. This is what you, again, are using if you're not licensed or anything like that. This is probably the Copilot we tend to show on commercials, right? The one that talks to you, talks back to you, have a conversation. And recently they added this alt space, and I think on Mac it's option space, so that you have a quick shortcut to start this up and just start talking to Copilot right from your PC without having to do a lot of fumbling around looking for icons like I just did, basically. So I'm not going to do that just now, but no matter how you get here, again, the consumer Copilot has this look. It asks you, I don't know if you can hear that, but it started talking to me just now. You get some voices you can choose from, that kind of thing. So again, the difference, which is hard to see in this environment, is a Copilot, colorful Copilot logo without the black bar versus the one with the black bar. Okay. Let me come back here. So I see, Anne saying we need features and functionality lists. Yeah, well, I think you're saying in terms of showing a demo versus kind of showing features and functionality. Yep, we talked through that in other sessions. Just only got a few minutes left in this one, but yes, we'll keep diving into those features and functionality. Good stuff there. And then I guess I'd say I didn't even mention Teams. That's a super popular one. You got Copilot in Teams. And really, this comes to me in a couple ways. I mean, here I am in a meeting and I've got, I'll look at that later. I've got my Copilot logo here specific to this meeting that I want to ask questions about, but I've also got my Copilot logo here that takes me to my landing page for M365 Copilot. This functionality may look different in your org. It depends on if they have implemented showing that button there. It doesn't necessarily have to be there, but it could be there. So Copilot there in a couple different fashions. I really went around the horn there. The other thing that I wanted to show, wasn't prepared to, but I was going to bring up my mobile phone, because again, those two Copilots we just talked about from the store, they basically show the same way on your phone, either the colorful one without the black bar and the one with, and work the same way, right? The one is consumer, one is work related. But yes, they're on your mobile phone as well. I call that out because a lot of times I have friends that don't even realize that there's a Copilot app on their phone, just like everything else. So yes, they are there. They are free to install and all that good stuff. So give it a shot. Yeah, I think we got most of them in the short time we have here. Yeah. I have likely missed something, and if I can find an amazing visual that kind of shows all the Copilots in one visual, I will certainly try to distribute that. But yeah, hopefully we got most of it, and hopefully that helps, or it confuses you because there's just so many. Either way, I don't know. We may have overwhelmed some folks today. So if we did overwhelm you, sorry about that. But there's a lot out there to talk about. So if you keep tuning in to this webcast, we will keep diving into all of those, going into features and functionality for all of those, and have been doing it. I think today is episode 16. So there's 15 other episodes where we do dive into some of that if you want to check it out. And all of that, of course, is at aka.ms/cap4copilot. Good stuff. Yeah. Anything? What else did I miss? I think I don't think I got anything else.
I have seen a graphic of all the Copilots laid out into one visual.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if maybe we could sync up on that, and then maybe throw it out on cap4copilot afterwards.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes those are those visuals are hard to do because there's nuances to some of that. It's not always a yes or no. It's kind of, sometimes it's a maybe or it can be tough to make those visuals. So
for sure, especially over the last 2 years when Copilot has been prolific across the Microsoft landscape.
Yep. Yeah. And whoever's making the visuals has always got to check their stuff every month to make sure it's still relevant. So,
right.
But that's good stuff. Innovation coming at us fast. So
marching ahead.
Can't stop the train. All right. Well, again, we're glad you joined us today. Thanks for the comments in the chat. Continue to keep tuning in Thursdays, 3:30 Eastern. And also, hit us up. Back in the day, I've had a coffee with the cowbell session for early morning sessions. Again, grab a cup of coffee and geek out on some stuff. If you think you'd be interested in getting up early with me, I might be willing to bring that back out there. So if you're interested out there, put it in the comments or hit me up. Let me know. I don't want to wake up early and be by myself. So
Right on.
yeah, yeah. All right. Well, we will see you all next time. Again, hit us up, Cap for Copilot, for other sessions, and hope you had a great time on this one, and we'll catch you later.
Thanks. Bye, Ricardo.
All right. See ya.